My name is R. Allen. Welcome to the channel. I am here today to give you the my top five favorite songs of the year. These are not the songs that I find to be objectively the best, but instead what I find subjectively to be my favorites. I think when we use the word favorites, we forget that the root word of favorite is favor, right? I favor these songs over other songs. It doesn't mean that I think they are necessarily better. It means that I prefer them. It's a preference as to what I like, what I look for in my art. So, with that being said, I will start this list off with number five, and that would be West Side Gun with Heel Cena. It is a very early 90s boom bap aesthetic. There's some piano keys, dusty sort of almost jazzy piano keys here with a lot of compression. The drums, the break is very early 90s with the cymbals and the hats. I picked this song more so than anything because I think it is one of, if not the best examples of West Side Gun being West Side Gun this year after releasing multiple projects, this being on Hills Have Eyes 2. Um, it is the perfect name, being that he is so closely connected to wrestling. Heel Cena just sounds like a West Side Gun record. But because John Cena in real life just turned heel, earlier in the year, and has since turned back and retired, but it was very, um, it was very fresh at the time, and he is very good about that. Sometimes he'll put things in an album that just happened like literally days before. He's done it multiple times. I think this was just a really good example of him using the moment to market himself. Hill Cena is a cool concept because John Cena was always a babyface, and it just ties into West Side Gun using wrestling lore for the entirety of his career as we know it anyway. So for that reason, his lyrical display, the boom bap aesthetic, the wrestling tropes, I would put this number five on my list of favorite songs of the year. Number four is Junkie by Nas. It's on the Light Years project, which was just recently released. I would like to put it higher, however, because it just came out, and some of these other songs came out much earlier in the year, I felt that it was sort of disrespectful to put it over some of those songs that I have loved all year long, and I've had time to sit with. But I really, really love the album overall. Junkie is probably my favorite song on the album as far as encapsulating Nas and his personality and what he does best, which I have said before, a lot of which I think he does best is imagery and nostalgia. The way he reminisces, he really taps into that nostalgic bag on Junkie, using hip hop as a metaphor, saying that he needed to stay away. I like how early in the song he starts off sort of almost, if you really think about it, he's sort of comparing Primo's new recording studio to like where you would go pick a pack up, maybe, or something illegal like that. So I think that the overall concept is great for Nas because he's always been able to speak on junkies in his music. You could tell he came up being in Queensbridge, coming up around them, seeing them, knowing how they behave. And I think after all these years, hearing him talk about them, flipping that, using Junkie as an analogy for hip hop after all these years, I think is dope conceptually for Nas. For that reason, I'm going to put it number four on my list. And I hope that you guys have heard it already. If you haven't, go check that out for sure. Number three on my list belongs to a man named Slick Rick. He is the slickest of men named Rick that I know. And with the song called Landlord, he completely captivated me. Slick Rick is known for his storytelling ability. Uh, I wasn't sure what exactly to expect from the Victory album when it dropped, but I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, that not only did he tell some stories, but he was able to tell stories we've never heard. And this was one of them. A song about being a landlord in New York City, and about dealing with tenants. And I think that in this day and age in hip hop where um, business commodities have sort of risen to the top of content in many lanes of hip hop, and people are much more business savvy, more business literate. I think that making a song essentially about real estate, but making it fly, is a really, really cool way to introduce that corner of business into hip hop. There's no one else, I think, that it could have written that song any better than Slick Rick. He did a great song. It's my favorite song off of Victory. I still go back to it. I go back to several songs on the album. I like the album as a whole, but that is my favorite song on the album. And I think it's one of the best songs of his career. Honestly, it's up there. Um, it's uh, it's just unprecedented, truly. And for that reason, it is number three on my list. Number two on my list is Jay Electronica's Who Killed Michael Jackson. I wish that it was still on leaflets. It was removed for several months. You couldn't even get it on YouTube. Now there is a version available. It's not, I guess, technically an official version, but it's a non-edited version. The version that was replaced the other soon after it was removed was an edited version. And although Jay Electronica doesn't rely on cursing, I don't think that the power of his words have the same impact when you bleep things out. Period. And that probably goes for anyone, but especially a lyricist like him, where you hang on every word of what he's saying. The song really was Jay Electronica in a different headspace. It sounded like there's aggression in his voice here, the things that he speaks about. The beat is chilling. It's pretty early in leaflets, so it hits you pretty hard early on. I was immediately taken aback by his cadence, um, especially in particular pieces of the song. Like, I don't even know what's going on no more. I'm just energy. There's a certain aesthetic, a metaphysical aesthetic that he has always brought to his music that he really tapped into in a almost hyper aggressive way here that I was not used to hearing from him. So I love Jay Electronica. I've always loved what he's done, but this was my favorite song on the album, and then they removed it, which made me focus on it even more. So for that, that is my number two song, second favorite song of the year. My favorite hip hop song this year is not by a male. It is actually a female, Shay Noir. And her project, Color of Chocolate 2, is my favorite project of the year. This is my favorite song on that album. It's called Buy versus Sell, and it's the story of an addict who can't stop using, who's trying to get away from using, versus a drug dealer and them not being able to quit selling drugs but trying to, being in better positions and then recrossing paths. There's a tragic ending. It is storytelling 101. It is a twist to what we typically hear about addiction, because we often hear drugs either being glorified, or we only hear about the glorification of the dealer. Um, but we rarely hear about the junkie's perspective, and we almost never hear about the dealer's perspective and how potentially this is its own type of addiction, right? Selling drugs is its own addiction. And I think that's part of the message here. It has been spoken on before. I think that Jay-Z did a great job um, way back on Reasonable Doubt covering this, but it hasn't been covered much, and it's never been covered this way. And the way Shay wrote this story out in rhyme form, I thought was just a masterclass in storytelling and hip hop. Period. And for that reason, it is my number one favorite song of the year. It is heartbreaking. It is tragic, but it is insightful. It is entertaining, and I love this song. It is probably the song that captured me the most when I first heard it of everything I heard this year. So if you haven't heard any of these songs, I suggest you go hear them. Um, Coming soon will be a Nas Lightyear review. Don't know exactly when, but it will be coming. I do thank you for watching this video. I hope that you continue to watch my videos. Make sure that you like and subscribe to feed the algorithm. It is important. If you do support the channel, make sure that you like and hit the subscribe button. I will be covering more in the future. I will also be releasing my own music next year. I look forward to that. And I look forward to talking more about this thing that I love called hip hop. Thank you and goodbye.